Doom: The Dark Ages feels like the Doomslayer's greatest encore. It's a brutal, blood-soaked rock concert where every piece falls in place, except for the music. All right, picture this. You're front row at your favorite concert, right? The lights drop, the stage ignites. Your favorite concert turns out to be inspired by Doom, so the crowd is roaring like a horde of demons. And the Doomslayer steps out front and center, rock star, armor gleaming, bloodied, soaked, from all the monsters he's been slaying. All his weapons of arsenals just primed on stage. Every bit of it making it like a prime, star-studded headliner, right? The stage is set, the energy is electric, you're feeling the crowd. You brace yourself for that first rip to like really start shredding and getting into the action, right? But when it hits, something's off. The mix is flat, the rhythm's not right, the stage theatrics aren't matching what you're hearing. That's ultimately what Doom: The Dark Ages feels like. By all accounts, it all feels, it is amazing on each of these elements, but it's just not in tune. Hi, my name is Karosh, and thank you for joining me on today's video, where I've been stoked to talk about Doom: The Dark Ages for a minute. I've loved the prior entries in this game. The series has been something that I have a lineage back to my childhood, where it was a very different beast back then, when we still had the floppy disks and the early CD cases and everything. But since 2016, it has ramped up, and I've been stoked to talk about this now that I've spent like 12 to 15 hours getting through the campaign and spending some time just tinkering with it. And it wasn't until I really put things together where making the comparison of the rock concert really hit home what I love about this game and what's missing or what feels off about this game. Okay, so take the rock concert analogy, right? The Doomslayer, front and center, main character, been the character that's what this game is centered around. He is this unequivocal, badass Terminator force of nature, right? He's back. He's better than ever. He's never looked more metal. He's like, on top of the cyberpunk, hellish, demonic stuff, they just were like, let's splash in some medieval stuff, which perfectly works with this aesthetic, with this vibe and everything. So he's right. He's our rock star. We got our headliner, right, for the concert. He's the presence he brings in the game is so in line with what a rock star brings, like the theatrics of him when he's jumping from a cliff to platform levels. He's just quaking. Like I said, he's a force of nature. People are in awe of him that are on the same side as him. The enemies you have to face that you're having this war with are quaking, and like they're bracing for something, but it's ultimately their demise. You have cathedrals, you have all kinds of supporting cast, you have your arsenal of all the different weapons you have at your disposal, and everything is just like you walk like a star, you act like a star, you are a star. That's what the Doomslayer is. And every game has kind of been building him up to be this larger than life thing. There's always been these ominous narrations in the prior two games where he's like, his legend is foretold. Like they sing bard tales of this man in the depths of hell and fear of him and and so on and so forth.
And those that tasted the bite of his sword named him the Doomslayer.
That is here. Like, you feel like you're responsible for all those actions, and you get to firsthand, as per usual, obliterate things, perform, kill it on stage. And so everything in regards to who the Doomslayer is and what he's doing, whether he's riding his dragon steed, whether he's manning a giant kaiju mech fighting eldritch horrors, or he's just fighting hordes upon hordes of waves of demons, the Doomslayer is here, and he's our rock star. We have a rock star, right? Then we need to get into the stage, the presence, in order to have the added enhancement of like what the rock star is doing, you need everything around him to behave well. And that's where the rock kind of concert vibe really, this is where like the real pieces started to click for me of like, oh, okay, so you have your star, hitting his stride, hitting his best hits, and the stage is the world, right? The stage is full of cathedrals and dragons and medieval stuff and eldritch stuff and horrors and diabolical stuff and cyber stuff. It's like they threw everything that they've already thrown at us plus more. We have never, I don't think in Doom's history, had more new like types of demons to face than in this one, which was a refreshing kind of thing to see, because you're just so used to seeing, okay, how can we get the rocket imps and the other horrors that they have just reskinned or rehashed in the field. They bring those, and they are amazing. Like, they're so much fun to fight, and they have their own unique ways where they've reskinned them and refreshed them for our fun. But they've added so many new enemies to face, and so that's part of like the world that we get. And the aesthetic, you go from, it's always had like a cybernetic, futuristic mix with hellish kind of aesthetic and environment. But because of the medieval setting, because of this taking place way before the prior two games, they get a chance to kind of go into this war that they've alluded to, that this war that he's waged, but the supporting cast, there's knights, there's demonic demons. It feels like Old Testament biblical kind of stuff. And then you get into like the crazier stuff, like I mentioned, with the kaiju level, eldritch level stuff that I think was just like the cherry on top. So again, the theatrics, the violence, the showmanship, the world that they've built, they really leaned into it and in all the best ways. Like the chaos thrives, the arena of Doom quakes in many ways. Sorry, I had to make that reference. I'm a big Quake fan too. But yeah, the stage was perfect. Like the stage is perfect. Everything around him enhances him and further like accentuates all the things that make him so ominous and so powerful and so menacing. So like that kind of sets that scene. This is where I start realizing what's coming off. The last two games, and if you're familiar with Doom in any recent, like in the last almost 10 years now with id Software, when you think of Doom, you not only think of the Doom Slayer, you think of the amazing music that has come out of these games. Mick Gordon being like one of the key elements of that, has been a key part of just making that music just amazingly just embody what the Doom Slayer is, and that's where this one comes short. This one, and after Doom Eternal, there was some falling out with Mick Gordon, but in its place, I felt like the music is great. Like when it does come on, it's good. It's just that marriage of music with gameplay and scene setting is off. It's not in sync. It's not a marriage anymore. It's mixed wrong, or it's offset, or it's not hitting when it should be hitting. In Doom 2016, for instance, or even Eternal, when you entered when the music would build up as a story element would be coming up, and it would slowly start building, or a narration would start building. But right when the culmination of all that started to peak, and like you could feel it tantalizingly, like just at your fingertips, like it started to be like, okay, I'm ready for action now. And right at that moment is when the music just goes off on a tear, and all of the action ensues and chaos, and you're just in the thick of it. Like it's all centered around you, and it amps you up. Like it makes you come alive in the moment in the game. And then you start chasing that from moment to moment, and it delivers, and it has this rhythm, this gameplay loop that just feeds on itself so well. And that became the core identity of these latest games. So to have that as the precursor to this game, but not deliver on that one element, it may seem like a non-issue for any other game or any other franchise, but they've set that expectation up here in this franchise, and not having it now in this, its absence is so apparent. It's so distracting, and it's so offset that it just throws the rhythm off. It throws the Doomslayer's rock concert off. It throws the stage off. Like all the pieces are there, and it's fun. Like you're having a good time. It's chill, but it could be a greater time. And that is where I feel like I really need to share my thoughts here, is like, not just with this game, but in general, like when you have a music piece, or when you have an action scene, whether it be in a film or whether it be in a game or something, there is a marriage there, and there's so much that can be enhanced, not just from a visual aspect, not just from an input side or an engagement side or the story elements or lack of story elements, whatever it may be. Music has such a key point to that, and it is valuable, and this is such an example of that. This game, it's a fantastic game. I could not recommend it more to any fan of the Doom franchise. Doom: The Dark Ages is an absolute good time. It just could have been an amazing time, and that caveat is something that I really needed to speak on and share and really bring into some kind of a conversation here of like the conversation about Doom: The Dark Ages, or even just the conversation about music enhancing games as a whole, or the artistic mediums that they are used in. And here it's like it wasn't just background noise; it was another part of the rock concert. And you can't have a rock concert without music hitting the way it needs to. You're gonna get a lot of tickets refunded. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this game, this idea of music and its relationship with media, with the artistic mediums of film and games and stuff. Any and all of the above, I'd love to hear. And if you enjoyed this video, please let me know what you think. I have other videos of this nature where we talk about kind of our relationship with games, the game psychology of it, and our just what ultimately it boils down to in these games. So I'll link that in the video here, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you for joining me for Doom: The Dark Ages.